Welcome to Cowboys Politics. I am your host, Heavy Chevy. What's going on? What's going on? I just got a few things to talk about um, with Cowboys Politics. Man, one of them is, will Dak be here next season? Will he be here next season? Huh. Really, only time will tell because the way Dak spoke in that interview a couple of days ago, it don't phase him at all. It really don't. It really don't phase him. Dak is business. He was all about business in that interview. You can't tell me otherwise. Dak was calling a bluff. It sounded like he was being dead serious when he said he had a conversation with Jerry, and that was it. Had a conversation to see where they was at. They understood each other, and he dipped. Now I'm gonna play a clip on it, and talk about it, get my 2 cents on it. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, man. It's to me, it's just getting down to respect right now. That's all I can say. It's just getting to the point where it is all about respect. And you kind of could see it in his face. You kind of could tell that he was kind of irritated, kind of a little frustrated. But and he also, in my opinion, he also kind of like threw a little shade with the Joneses, because Steven said in the interview that they was having negotiation talks with Dak. Dak said in this interview that he had a conversation with Jerry, and he said negotiations hasn't started. And when they start, when they get serious, he will be a part of it. He will be a part of it. Let me just pull this up. So some of y'all won't think I'm just tripping.
I don't want to say I'm puzzled.
Let me go back.
Than every other time you've been here, just the lack of free agent activity and more of your own guys leaving. Are you a little puzzled by that based on what you'd seen in previous years?
I don't want to say I'm puzzled. Obviously, honestly, I'm focused on the guys that we have. I know we got a lot of great guys, a lot of good that's returning in that locker room. And I say good, but great, and young guys that are good, that are making that next step. So obviously have faith in those guys. Always done well in the draft and bringing some guys in. So hopefully that'll make a big impact. And I think right now for me it's about just focusing on the locker room and pouring into those guys. And I don't control that side and making those moves. So not going to put too much thought and angst into it, I guess, and what we're doing and how we're getting that done rather than.
Now, did you just hear that? Like he said, he don't make that move. Of course he don't. It's your GM. It is your GM, Jerry Jones, and Catboy Steven. At the end of the day, they the one who makes the move for to build this team. People only can make a suggestion, but at the end of the day, they are the ones who are spending this money to build this team. Now, granted, do a lot of players don't show up? Yes, especially during the playoffs. Especially during the playoffs. But this is the ultimate team sport, and you can't just blame one person, because that's what a lot of us Cowboy fans does. They just blame one person. That why? Because he make the most money. Like money solves problems. Money don't solve problems. It don't. And some people can say, "Well, yes, it does." Money does not solve problems. It don't. because a lot of people think that just because a player get paid that it's going to make them better. No, they are who they are. Can they get better? Yes, they can get better. But they are who they are before they got that money. When they got their money, they still the same person. So to have this notion that money would make superheroes out of some of these players, man, that's just truly asinine. That's backwards. For real. That is totally backwards. Who in their right mind would constantly just think that it's all about the players that make the most money and they are a superhero right now and they're going to get us to the Super Bowl just because they make X amount of dollars. Man, come on, man. Come on with that now. Let's be for real. Let's be for real. If it was you out there making $30 million, $40 million, $50 million a year, you telling me that this money gonna magically help you. Sorry about that, camera went out for a little bit. But yeah, man, like I was saying, if you was put in that shoe of one of these players making this money, let's be for real. Do you honestly think this money will make you a superhero that you just can pick up the whole team, whole franchise, fans and all, to get them to Super Bowl, to win a championship? No. So let's just stop with the notion that, hey, this man making all this money, this player making all this money. Yeah, they supposed to do that. Bro, not if you got front office meddling. Coaches can't do what they want to do. Players, bro, it's just like just the dangle. Just the dangle. They play with people. It's the ego. It's the ego. You can look and tell that it's the ego. For a lot of the surface fans, man, please just start digging deep into this. Stop just blaming it all on one player. Start looking at it logically. Start looking at it as a team and not one person. This is not golf. This is football. Every position is a dependent position. Every position is a dependent position. The quarterback need the O-line. The running back need the O-line. Quarterback need receivers. Tight end. Receivers need and tight ends need a quarterback. This is the ultimate team sport. The linebackers need the defensive line. The defensive line need the secondary. The secondary need the defensive line. This is the ultimate team sport. When one player is out of position, it can put a lot of players out of position. So I'm going to get back to this video, start back playing it, and let's see what else he says.
And just how I can invest in the guys and making sure that they're getting better and holding myself accountable to do the same.
Would you like your deal done by the start of the season?
Honestly,
Man, that long pause, the way he looking down to his right, you can tell he was kind of frustrated. But he's telling the truth. You could tell he was frustrated. And he was trying to keep it PG and keep it professional. That's one thing I can say about Dak. He will keep it professional. Let's keep going.
I'm focused on the moment, on the now. If the talks begin and real talks get to happen, sure, we can talk about getting that done. But in this case right now, honestly, I'm worried about just getting better, being better tomorrow than I am at this moment. So leaving that up to my agent and Jerry at this point. And when those talks begin, I'll be more involved, obviously. So
no time.
when those talks begin. Now, how many of y'all seen the interview with Steven when he said that they was negotiating with Dak? They had talks with Dak. No, all what it was is they was trying to get Dak to bend. Yeah, they had talks without his agent. So when his agent get there, he said he's gonna be there. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Let me start back this clip.
Are you surprised that no talks have happened?
No, I mean, I've been in conversation. I've talked to Jerry, and so I understand where we are, obviously. And Jerry's mentioned the same, so there's not any gray area in that sense. So, yeah.
He talked to you about the cap and all the situations and why they're not doing it.
We had a great conversation. Okay. We had a great conversation that put us aligned and where we are and moving forward, and or where we are in this moment, I should say. And we'll address moving forward as that comes about.
CD situation, are you working with CD?
Jeez. One at a time, remember?
That's your contract, but with CD and for business reasons not being out there, do you two still work off on the side? How do you conduct that when he's at this stage of negotiations?
Yeah, for sure. We'll get some work in. I've been in communications with CD. That's there. So yeah, we'll get work in, and whether it's him getting into the facility, maybe a deal gets done, and if it doesn't, I guarantee that we still find a lot of time to make sure that we're putting in the work that we feel comfortable.
He is still gonna put in the work. Now, who wouldn't want a player that shows leadership, and every player in that locker room wants him to be there? Who does that? Is Dak going to leave? Will he leave? So that's all I got for today. Check your boy out. All my social media platform information at the bottom. Hit your boy up. It's Heavy Chevy. Peace.